Civil disobedience is a powerful force of social change, but is breaking the rules acceptable in order to change the rules we disagree with? Indeed, nothing is granted for nothing. Humans cannot acquire anything without sacrificing something of equal worth first. In physics, every action has a reaction, otherwise, an uninterrupted process continues indefinitely. In chemistry, a system is affected only when introduced to a change. In biology, feedback loops are used to achieve a new equilibrium after an external factor is introduced to it. A sound is not projected unless it travels through a medium. Civil disobedience is sometimes necessary to initiate change. Rules are, however, put in place to create order. Breaking these rules would result in the collapse of order. On a larger scale, every stride, every step humans take to achieve a meaningful success eventually ends up executing another problem. And no matter how persistent humans are, they always leave a problem behind, for humans are imperfect and selfish beings. Indeed, civil disobedience behaves as a great force to evoke social change, but breaking the rules for a preferred change is not acceptable. Humans have established limits, including life and death. Afraid that death may come and their time may cease to exist, they act rashly and try changing the world as a means to cast their shadow, to impose their ideals on it. This rashness applies to every individual, whether the feeling is conscious or subconscious. At a fundamental level, everyone prioritizes themselves and their values over everything. As a need for self-expression, humans live the burdening laws put in place by the society, religion, etc. to possess self-freedom. After their mind has spoken and a change has been set into motion, they are truly happy, but this happiness is short-lived. Everyone wants to see the world in their image, which results in a change that lays destruction in its wake, much like Edmund's deceitful plan. Throughout history, great atrocities have evoked the oppressed to gnaw. These include the world wars that were fought by Hitler, who could not come to cope with his country's loss in World War I, and his patriotism presented to him a supplement escape, hating the Jews and blaming the country's loss on them. Certainly, after voicing his opinion in the publication of Mein Kampf, Hitler slowly rose to power and ended up imposing his ideals, which ended up killing the Jews. Though his actions were justified from his point of view, they posed trouble and oppression for others. The different wars that are and were being fought for individuals' religion are set into action by people's thoughts. Humans are too foolish to realize that their freedom shoots another's down. They are failed creatures that never need a reason to dream, do, and destroy. Nothing is perfect. Concept of 100% is flawed. Wherever there is rule, there is always civil disobedience. Because somewhere, someplace, someone is always criticizing laws, because the laws aren't in complete harmony with a person's ideals. This does not mean that someone should disregard these laws and become a criminal. If that were the case, every other person would be a criminal and render justice useless. If a part of a nation started disobeying the law, the remaining nation would be disturbed and undergo problems. A war between ideals would ensue, and a state overrun with chaos formed. Definitely, a deadlock like that seen in yin and yang would form, and eventually destruction would fall. Hence, it is essential that unity prevails between individuals for a better understanding between people, in much the same way as it is established between the handmaid's common red dress. If civil disobedience is a method to avoid the rules, there is no reason for rules to exist. Free thought process is ruled by anarchy. Rules exist to keep us protected, not destroy it. Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in this world." But this change does not highlight the breaking of laws to oppress others. Rather, it encourages individuals to embrace open-mindedness and take a leap into the better world, imposing self-ideals onto oneself first and resolving its importance after tasting the action firsthand, instead of blindly imposing it on others. A bad action can never be imitated for long, but a good habit is picked up by those who share the same ideals as the enforcer. Every human possesses a form of evaluation criteria that aligns with that person's ideals. The subjective opinion of a few becomes objective rules for the many. Rejecting these rules would make for a revolutionary blow if power is added to it. If multiple humans agree to a common criterion that encompasses their ideals. However, after the government's rules are replaced by the laws proposed by society, the new situation would give birth to the same old problem. The new criteria would be subjective for the few while being objective to the common man. This everlasting convection of replacing ideals would cause unrest. Humans would benefit more from overlooking minor defects in laws for the others who like to believe in the perfect objective laws, as no one objects objective facts. It is essential to change the government the right way. Government can either be changed by social unrest or from within the system. So the question goes, civil disobedience is a powerful force of social change, but is breaking the rules acceptable in order to change the rules we disagree with? It is evident by the flawed human logic, the laws of a state, a society's belief, and individuals' ideals, that civil disobedience is indeed a powerful force and never falls short of bringing about change in a system, as it has in many occasions at various historical standpoints. That being said, civil disobedience can have far-reaching consequences which cannot be accounted for in advance. Civil disobedience corrupts the hierarchical structure of government, which can have a negative impact on the future of a state. Hence, it is logically advantageous to avoid breaking the rule. But this is impossible for us humans. We are imperfect, yet still strive towards perfection. And that is the beauty of being human.